Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain AccuRate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain AccuRate Weather Command Center. Happy to have you here. By the way, this special weather report brought to you by Weigel's, fuel and food that's fast, fresh, and friendly. Here's a East Tennessee weather and Weigel's update. Did you know that all new banana pudding milk, while it's in stores now, it's only for a limited time? There's actually word from the Weigel's Facebook page that there's another flavor on the pipeline. So there's going to be a new flavor soon. That means the banana pudding milk may just disappear. We'll have to wait and see, but go bananas for flavor. You gotta love it. Grab it while you can. Pick up one bottle, pick up two bottles. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Who would argue with that? It's the all-new banana pudding milk. It is delicious, it's yummy, and it's perfect for this time of year, anytime if you are a fan of the banana pudding dessert. Maybe at a restaurant, it's the Southern iconic dessert, now in a sippable treat. By the way, I gotta talk about this. Gotta talk about the weather, because while it is 6:41 right now, I can tell you this, temperatures right now at this particular moment is in the mid-50s. It's very, very warm. Normal low is 46 this time of year. We're 10 degrees above that. We're 10 degrees above normal. Does that bother you? No, I think what bothers most of us, David, is that the viewing conditions yesterday for the total solar eclipse were far less than ideal. I would agree. That's why I was in the car. By the way, I've probably had about 7 hours sleep over the last 2 days. I mean, I've been tearing up miles on the car. I've been driving all over the place up to Ohio and back. And it's interesting because while we are at 56 degrees now, we do anticipate some rain. We have some fog at the moment. In fact, visibility, a hint there in gray along the Smokies, maybe around Anderson County. Some pockets of patches of fog may be found, but nothing too extreme. Let me get to the radar, because what we're seeing is most of the rain is across places like Alabama. It's in places like Georgia, and it's trying to drift in this direction. So if you haven't had any rain yet, we had it yesterday, picked up 0.15 of an inch of rain yesterday. There's a little bit of a lull in the activity. As you can see there, the clock at the top there showing most of the rain is over toward Florence, Alabama, Huntsville, Jackson, Tennessee, and it's all drifting in this direction. So make sure you pack the umbrella. But more lightning strikes can be found to the far west, back toward Oklahoma, back toward Texas, and you can see the number of strikes there, over 4,400, 4,500, quite a few, 4,700, quite a few lightning strikes at this particular time. But I want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, just want to say good morning to you. Got some good notes to share with you. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. Fred says, good morning, David. Looks like a rainy day. At times, I think it will come and maybe break apart, but there's at least a 60% chance we get rain today. It won't be all day. You might find that there's a lull for the drive home in spots. As far as YouTube, anyone? Han Solo Rider says, good morning. I believe he went to Indianapolis. I was in Ohio. We're going to recap the total solar eclipse, and I want to share a picture or two with you, because I think you might appreciate that. And as far as my notes, as we look at the banana pudding milk, oh, it's so good. By the way, high temperature yesterday was only 65. It just struggled. It was a bad temperature forecast when many of us thought we'd be in the upper 60s, low 70s. But temperatures today, normal high 69, normal low is 46. We should be today in the lower to mid 60s. About 64 is where I think we'll be, and we'll struggle to get there because we're in the mid 50s now. Record high 1978, 86. Record low on this date, 23. We hit 23 degrees in 1985 on this date. So kind of interesting for perspective. I'm all about perspective and context. As we can see, there's a lot of rain that's drifting in this direction, and there will be severe weather to talk about when we get to those Storm Prediction Center maps here in just a moment. Most of it's going to be down toward Texas today and parts of the deep south. Radar shows just a few more showers moving across the Great Lakes, less in the way of blue, less in the way of snow at this time. But most you can see all the rain showers seems to be further south and west. Wind speeds not moving much. Today I think they'll pick up from the southwest, and then by the middle of the afternoon, maybe more westerly, 5 to 15, could be gusting a little higher. As far as gusts right now, they're pretty much confined to the Smokies and the higher elevations. So if you're just joining me at 6:44, love to have you share a comment. How did you feel about the solar eclipse day yesterday? Was it too much hype? Should kids have gotten out of school early? Because I do know that some did. Knox County got an early dismissal. Was it worth it? Was it worth that, or was it maybe a bunch of hubbubaloo? So I'm going to get into that in a moment. But temperature right now, 56 in both Oak Ridge and Knoxville. It's 55 in Morristown, White Pine, Talbot, and 63. If you're in McMinn County, they're in Athens at 63. Chattanooga's at 60. Current temperature in Nashville is 63, and you can see all the warm little red arrows coming up from the south. That's a warm weather direction. It's going to keep temperatures up today in the middle part and west part of the state. Most of the rain, though, will have just as much of maybe equal cooling effect as we're not going to get that warm. Tomorrow will be in the 70s. So Wednesday we're in the 70s, but today I'm expecting high around 64. And a lot of clouds. The thicker clouds are in blue, and even the colder cloud tops in yellow would suggest it's going to be a mainly gray, if not gray sky type of day, with the sky leaking on occasion. So if you've got kids that have to get to school this morning, or maybe you're anticipating a rainy pickup, that wouldn't be a bad idea. From 2 to 3:30 we'll be around 60. And again, we may struggle to get out of the 50s during the course of this morning. Sun is up at 7:10. And I want to check your comments here. Sun will be setting at 8:05 this evening. So our days are, in fact, getting a little bit longer. Just want to say good morning to you. If you're on the call, Marilyn Bell says, thanks for the eclipse photos. My pleasure. I tell you what, I had a ball. Now, both of my parents were able to join me. They're also premium members, so I got to get to premium. But I've been in conversation with about a dozen and a half semi-serious premium members who wanted to travel, but some for other reasons. Han Solo rider Michael Norman did go to Indianapolis, so he was taking note of the sky conditions. But we're going to get into that in a moment. Carrie says good morning. She's had sunshine in her Weigel's cup of coffee, and it's good to have Fred here as well. So if you were disappointed, I hope to be able to share something that may be of value to do, because I think one of these things we won't get another one like that until 2044. So you do have to wait 20 years to see what I saw yesterday firsthand, and it was the second one I've ever experienced. The first one was in Madisonville on the 21st of August 2017. That was my first total solar eclipse, and I tell you, once you get bit by the bug, you're kind of like, it's an adrenaline rush. It's something spectacular about that total solar eclipse. High temperatures today, really struggling to get in the lower to mid 60s. I think 64 might be pie in the sky for Knoxville, but we'll see how it goes. About 66 for Tellico Plains, maybe a rumble thunder, but most of it is just plain old rain showers. So this was the expectation. Did it kind of look like this? It did. I think for me, it was exploding that little white area at the bottom, but it was very, very cool. I can tell you this, most of us here had this view, and we're like, this is all we had, right? Clouds, why do we even talk about it? Well, here I am, Captain Accurate, with Dad and Mom Accurate. We were all in Minster, Ohio. That's about a 5-hour, 10-minute drive north of Knoxville. It's in northwestern sections of Ohio, just north of Dayton. Think about it that way. So well north of Dayton, but Minster, Ohio, and maybe just south of Lima. Total solar eclipse. These are my pictures, and you can see how spectacular it was. And I was just using an iPhone. But those grainy pictures, because I had a thin veil of cirrus clouds that may have made it or impeded the viewing just a wee bit. But what was amazing, which these pictures don't really tell, I wanted to show you two others, is the sky. It looked like I heard birds chirping, like it was like sunset or evening or twilight. The temperature dropped at least 5 to 7 degrees. I was like, it's got colder here. It didn't take much, and suddenly as that process was taking place, the partial, it seemed eerily weird, and if you've experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think these pictures kind of describe it, because just a few minutes later, because I had 4 minutes of totality up in Minster, it suddenly looked like a page out of Twilight, like it was like 9 o'clock at night, but then it suddenly got sunny again. But you can see those thin cirrus clouds pretty well on that picture in the bottom left, and how eerily weird it was, but it was so cool to be able to experience, and I wanted to be able to share it with you, at least from these perspectives. Total solar eclipse, again, it was never totality in Knoxville. It was only going to be partial here. But it came up from Mexico yesterday, and these are approximate times, times assessed by NASA, but it rolled through places like Arkansas. There were showers and storms along the way that might have impeded some areas, but as I mentioned, Michael Norman got to see it in Indiana. I got to see it in Ohio, and eventually it rolled through Buffalo, Rochester, and moved up toward Maine. But as far as the times, those were key too, because not everybody had the same exact time. Mine was just about 3:09-ish to about 3:14. So we had an amazing path to share with you. And my premium members got a whole slew of extra pictures that I had taken on my camera roll. But we took a trip up here, just up to northwest of Columbus. That's where I was at that particular time. If you have a comment, love to say hi to you. If you are a fan of the eclipse, if these pictures were of noteworthy too, share them with me. I'd love to know your thoughts. Janet Potts says, my granddaughter was very disappointed. We both had the glasses, okay? And she said it was so cloudy in Talbot that we couldn't see a thing. That's one of the benefits of the premium member we had been talking about for over a month. I said its chances are, even if we didn't have the clouds in Knoxville, it still would not have been as spectacular as if you had been in this particular path that I've been highlighting here. This path, you would have had to have been in places like Columbus, Indianapolis, or around Little Rock to really experience some of the pictures that I just showed you, where it got eerily weird, temperature dropping in a big way. That type of experience would have been reserved to those who were in the true path of totality. And the next one doesn't really occur in the United States until 2044. That's 20 years from now. It is 6:50. I want to say good morning to you. Kelly Hart says good morning. I got Bob over here. He says good morning, David. Glad to have Bob here. And Alice. Good morning, Alice. She's here. She says good morning. She's got a happy face. Linda Rice also saying good morning. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new banana pudding milk, go bananas for flavor. There's word on the street. Well, it's really Weigel's Facebook page that there is another flavor coming up very soon. That means the all-new banana pudding milk may disappear from shelves because it says right there, only for a limited time. You can't have that expectation forever, can you? Unless, of course, we get other information from Weigel's. But we're very happy that Weigel's had this wonderful banana pudding milk. I've been enjoying it for weeks, if not months. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store, and 24. It's just better when it's Tennessee cows. And if you are a fan of the banana pudding milk, you might want to stock up before it disappears from shelves anytime soon. By the way, if you're curious, as I've got some information for you here, the average last freeze and average last frost, oh, now I got your attention, because you're planting, right? Or thinking about planting. It's April. Typically, the last freeze happens around April 1st. The last I checked, it's April the 9th, which means the average last frost, middle of the road, is typically the 14th of April. But I've got evidence that it's not going to be an average year. Oh, are you telling me it's going to get cold again? What do you think? Of course I am. That's what I do, because I got to at least alert you, right? We've got some 70s tomorrow. We've got some 70s on Thursday. But watch what happens as we move into the middle of the month. Well, it'll take us past the 14th of August 14th of April, the other A month. But look, it gets kind of chilly right around the 11th. So that's later this week. We've got temperatures back in the 40s. It turns pretty chilly. And I'm sure cold enough in the Smokies that they might get some more snow showers or flurries. That's the 12th. Very cold across Minneapolis, Chicago. These are 5,000-foot temperatures. But you tell me, if we've got more cold air coming, the answer is yes. It will get sharply chillier over time, and there will be opportunities for some cold air to persist. That means some frost may still go past the average time frame, which is the 14th of April. And then, of course, we move into the 17th and beyond. There's going to be more opportunities. Just to give you an idea, this is amazing. This is all new snow projected by some of the models. And it is mid-April by this point. Look at the Rockies. They could still get pounded with heavy snow. The ski season, I would imagine, continues out there. Even New England could see more snow, and if you look close enough, it looks like a little bit there near the Tri-Cities or the Smokies. Again, this is just model data, not a forecast, but there's potential. There's potential for some flakes going down the road. Not much, but we'll see. 56 degrees right now at the airport. It is 6:52. Very thankful that you're here. Relative humidity at 90%, pressure a little more than 30 inches. Here's my valley planner. We're going to kind of flatline for a while with the rain coming in, staying in the 50s for most of the day. And if we get some breaks, we'll go into the low to mid-60s. But I think 64 might be the highest point we see in Knoxville with gray skies, patches of fog, and rain showers, at least a 60% chance today. I do think it pulls back tonight to 30%. I think it pulls back to 30% tomorrow. So for Wednesday, 30% chance. But then it comes racing back Thursday and Friday, and that's going to lead us into severe weather. Oh, no. Oh, yes, we're going to use all the colors on this map except the purple. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, not here, but I mean the U.S. We're talking moderate in red. That's widespread severe storms likely. Not a color that's used very often, but when the Storm Prediction Center does use it, it's not used willy-nilly. They're very deliberate when they use this. So we're looking at orange. That's numerous. And the red one will show up for tomorrow. But this is today's map. Today's map puts those enhanced risk, level 3, numerous severe storms showing up down across Texas and Louisiana, between Austin, around Houston, and south of Dallas. Scattered severe storms in yellow. So this is where the active weather for severe weather will be today and tonight. And there will be a patch of isolated severe storms between Akron and Buffalo, New York. Here, if we get some thunder, it might come either early this morning or again late tonight. I don't think there's a whole lot of effort for rain tonight. As we move into tomorrow, look at this red area that's suddenly appeared. And this area encompasses the deep south. We're talking Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, Hattiesburg. Therein lies more tornado concerns. Again, chance of those widespread severe storms likely in red places like Jackson, Hattiesburg, and Baton Rouge. You can see New Orleans would it be on level 3, the red area level 4. So really bad situation. We might find some isolated severe storms on Wednesday, if not Wednesday night. Thursday gets pretty active again in yellow. That includes the Carolinas. It includes parts of Florida, Jacksonville up towards Charlotte, and another area of scattered severe storms in Akron, Columbus, and Charleston, West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia, and Lexington. Back home, isolated severe storms Thursday. So a very active week where we could find some locally heavy rain. I want to show you the futurecast. It's now 6:55. Eventually, that rain that's down toward Huntsville does work its way here. Maybe not at 8 o'clock in your neighborhood, but it looks like it's trying to move in here certainly before noon. And then there might be a pullback. There's 3:30. It stopped. So I do think it's going to come in stages. It'll come in waves. No question about that. Got a couple of notes from you. Again, very thankful for my sponsor, Weigels. Pick up the all-new banana pudding milk. Kelly Hart says, good morning. Oh, and Bob Alford says, I love the chocolate milk. LOL. It's a big seller. There's no doubt. It's an award-winning chocolate milk from Weigels. You got to check that out. But I'm, of course, a fan of all the flavor creations, and I can't wait to find out what the new flavor will be. I got to stock up on my banana pudding milk for sure. By the way, the 5 o'clock rain situation may look like this, where it's heavier in spots in yellow, might be lighter across the valley. We'll have to wait and see. But even tonight, you can see there's a little bit of a pullback. There's not a whole lot of rain tonight. We'll think of it maybe as a few showers, 30% chance. Then it tries to come back tomorrow. I left it at 30% tomorrow, and most of it's lifting in conjunction with that red line. The warm front moves up across Kentucky, and then that low moves northwest of Memphis, and that's where most of the energy will be. By Thursday, it comes back in a little more aggressively, possibly some severe storms. We'll keep an eye on that. And that front comes in, and we'll be keeping an eye on that. Because think about it, there's been a lot of activity that's been happening, weather, astronomy, earthquakes. We've had, from Easter, we had a tornado that occurred around Sunbright Tuesday. We had an earthquake around New York City, I guess it was Friday. And then we had, of course, the total solar eclipse. And now we've got more severe weather breaking out. It's a very active time of year. There's no getting around that. Just be prepared and be flexible. That's why it's another important tip to download my free Captain Accurate weather app so you can stay in the know. Meanwhile, Friday, a couple more showers, most of it spinning up toward the Great Lakes and north of West Virginia. That seems to be the trend. By 6:57, that's our time right now. Notice how this rain situation fills it in around 9:30 this morning. Not all this will line up perfectly, but it gives us some good guidance. Maybe a few breaks just before 2:45 or 3 p.m. That's certainly possible. But once we move into tonight, this one wants to kind of hang it around 5 o'clock, where others kind of dry it out, more like this. We head into tomorrow. While you sleep, there's not a lot to see here, maybe a few showers. But once we start the day tomorrow, again, I think there's probably about a 30% chance of rain on Wednesday, as most of that energy begins to lift to the north up toward the Commonwealth of Kentucky and beyond. Most of the temperatures, though, should be in the 70s as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night, we do it again. More showers and storms get a little more aggressive, no doubt. So for today, 64 degrees, that might be pie in the sky. Some of us may only get to 61. Some may only get to 62. That's okay. Or gray skies, fog, but winds will be picking up, I believe, 5 to 15 this afternoon. They'll come out of the southwest where they start to move this morning, and then westerly for the middle of the afternoon. Rain showers, at least a 60% chance. 63 in Oak Ridge, 63 in Morristown, looking for a high of 66 in Tellico Plains. And highs, if you're traveling, should be remarkably warmer in Augusta, Georgia, 77. 74 for Columbia, and it should be around 69 there in Birmingham, about 64 in Bowling Green if you're traveling. Tonight, we're dropping down to mid-50s like we are now. Double nickels, more clouds, some fog, a few showers, winds about 3 to 8 miles per hour. It is now 6:58. Tonight's lows, very, very mild. Again, normal low is 46. So if we're at 55, we're 9 degrees above normal again tonight. It's just going to be one of those warm nights with a lot of clouds and maybe just a few showers that persist in a few locations. It won't be as aggressive as it will be later today. As far as the 7-day, here is your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville and East Tennessee. 10 degrees warmer on Wednesday. A few thunderstorms are possible too, but again, most of the energy lifting north. I think Thursday, we've got an 80% chance. Periods of rain and thunder, not the whole time. I've left the sun in there for a good purpose because it won't be a washout, but there will be those opportunities for some downpours. Notice it's sharply colder on Friday. Friday have us at 60. We're in the low to mid, let's say lower 70s Saturday, upper 70s Sunday and Monday with a few spotty storms on Monday at 78 degrees. So very thankful for you. I got a note from Fred. He says, Weigels rocks. I agree. Fred, you're absolutely right. Danny says, good morning, David. Hope you had a great day. Go Vols. How did your bracket fare, by the way? Connecticut won. Did you have Connecticut and Purdue in the final? Huh, that's interesting. Well, if you did, well, you know how hard it is to predict the future. So, as they say, just keep in mind, it's not easy predicting the future, whether you're in the forecast business and weather or in the basketball bracketology world of sports. Never easy to predict the weather or the sports. Kathy says, good morning, and Fred saying, Weigels rocks. I could not agree more. Absolutely, Weigels rocks. By the way, if you want to pick up some hot coffee on your way to work or school, check it out. They've got the great chocolate milk that Bob was bragging about. I agree. Or maybe a cool drink, a cold drink later today. That's also a great deal to pick up. Very thankful for you. My name is David Aldrich. Don't forget to pick up the bottle of the all-new banana pudding milk. It is going to be around for just a short while longer because there is discussion that another flavor is soon to be released. So check out the all-new banana pudding milk. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better with Tennessee cows. The all-new banana pudding milk, again, delicious choice by East Tennesseans. Check it out, the flavors at Weigels. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.